I think your animals should have options. I would like to say that humans have evolved a little past that with our domestic animals. You don't want your sheep just trying to survive. You want them trying to thrive as well. But he's trying to warm up his hands from the exhaust from the skid steer. Normally a well-fed sheep is going to eat around that little spot. They do great in cold temperatures. He was adding the limestone to their ration. You gotta keep them clean and dry. That's a problem with rolling your feed out in a pasture. It's pouring rain today, and I'm guessing we're not gonna do pretty well anything today except for chores and get in as quickly as possible because it's pouring and freezing cold. But I was just getting ready to go out making the bed, and I thought you might be interested in Buddy's life. I'll turn the light on so we can see him better. He's adapted really well to the home life. Well, I'm happy to say I managed to get the bed made without disturbing him too much at all. Buddy, are you a little spoiled now? My goodness. Good morning, I'm Lynn, and welcome to another day at Ewetopia Farms. I haven't stepped out the door yet, but I'm getting prepared for it. Well, I actually have stepped out. I went out to feed my birds first, but gotta run out there now because it's a miserable day on the farm. I'm in the barn now, about to start chores. Hi Tommy, your food's up there. We got the lights on because it's very dark in the barn. That's what you gotta love about winter, the short hours and the constantly cloudy skies make it extremely dark in the barns. That's why we've got a lot of lights in here. I mentioned how dark it was in the barn in a previous video, and when I watched it I thought, actually it looks really bright. So we do have it well lit up, but in real life it looks really dark. But I can tell you, it's days like today where it's raining, like right on the verge of snow. So it's like right at freezing rain, but it's coming down heavy. So this is when I am most appreciative of the fact that we allow our sheep to come indoors too. Because I'm telling you, people can say that sheep do just fine in this weather, but they actually don't. They may be able to survive and tolerate it, but if they can't get shelter from the wet, especially in these really cold temperatures, it's gonna soak in, their outer fleece is gonna freeze, and what will happen is they start to shiver, and when you shiver you're burning calories. So they're not doing too well. So I think they should at least have a little lean-to where they can escape the wet. Do you want to be outside today? I know. So the same as most northern hemisphere countries. It Scotland, Ireland, England may not get the snow that we get, but I think that their winters are like what we're having right now. Lots of cold, raining, almost freezing conditions, and it's not pleasant. Our rems, as you know, are all kept outside, but as you can see, they're all under the lean-to. So I'm not saying that the sheep have to be kept indoors, far from it. I'm just saying that in really bad weather, they should have a place where they can escape the really bad conditions. Be it a forest, a lean-to, a barn, somewhere where they can get in. And our sheep have this lean-to, but at the very back there's actually a solid wall too, where if it gets really, really bad, they can walk behind the wall as well. So they have a lot of options. And I think your animals should have options. And yes, in the wild, animals have to tolerate this. But I hardly would say that's a fair comparison, because if you're gonna say in the wild they have to live out in the bad weather, well, you gotta understand that you want to make profit off your farm animals, and that the mortality rate for wild animals is wild. Like, wild animals don't survive in poor conditions either. Only the really tough survive. And I think that I would like to say that humans have evolved a little past that. With our domestic animals, we do our best to help them survive. Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to work we go. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. I've even heard people say that my sheep have the option of going in the barn, but they won't go in. And there's a reason for that too. It's that they don't understand that the barn is shelter. They think that the barn is a trap, and they're afraid to go in new scary areas. Because even when we move our sheep from barn to barn, just switching barns can be an ordeal. And likewise, if they've been indoors all the time and we try to let them out to go to pasture, they don't want to go out, because that wide blue open is very scary too. They are creatures of habit. But my point is that if you have taught your sheep that there is shelter and that there is pasture and that they can go where they please, in bad weather they will always choose to go inside, and in good weather they will choose to go out. It only makes sense. What's wrong with Tommy? I mean Scotty. Aw, Scotty. Tommy puts the run on Scotty so that he can't eat his food. So we have Scotty's food up on a bale where he can eat in private, but inevitably Tommy will come and chase him out. So on a day like today, our sheep are all at the trough eating. The cold weather, the rain, snow, whatever's happening isn't gonna affect their routine. However, if they were outdoors in this, I can tell you what they're gonna be doing is huddling together to try keep dry and warm, and they're not going to be eating. Hi everybody. Any day now, these guys. Well, it's not any day. It's still a couple of weeks away. Aren't you pretty? Hi. You're gorgeous. She's a pretty old girl. And she's definitely sporting a little baby bump as well. So I'm not trying to offend people by saying that sheep should be allowed inside in this weather. I'm just saying, in an ideal world, it is better for them if they can have shelter of some sort. If you want them to survive and perform to the best of their ability. You don't want your sheep just trying to survive. You want them trying to thrive as well. So on the hills of Scotland and Ireland, those sheep are tough, hardy things, and they're gonna seek whatever type of shelter they can get right now in the lee of boulders and scrub brushes and stuff like that. They don't lay out in the open. Even those hill sheep are seeking shelter in poor conditions. It's only natural. As I peek over to the Dorsets here, you can see some nice udders starting to form here. There we go. There's not an overabundance of them, but they're here. And likewise, in the Suffolk pen, we definitely have some udders here as well. She's starting to get rosy a little bit too. Her vulva's loosening up and the udder's firming up. Sure sign that she'll be in the first group to have lambs, and she will be having a lamb sired by knockout. What Arnie is doing right now is not fixing the skid steer, but he's trying to warm up his hands from the exhaust from the skid steer. The fresh gravel has helped with the mud on our laneway here, but when you get so much rain, you're still gonna get the puddles and stuff. But hopefully it will be a little less mud. Morning, girls and boys. How you doing in here? Breakfast time for the pampered sheep. There you go. This is from their perspective, just watching that food coming towards them. There's a little spot on that hay again. It is from the plastic getting ripped, because every time we find a spot we see if there was actually a little puncture, and the puncture mark is from claws from birds, raccoons, whatever, climbing on the bales, and a pinprick is enough to let the air in and cause a little mole spot. So once he's got that rolled out, he has to go back in with the pitchfork and pull that piece out. There, Arnie got that spot out, and now we should have no casualties from eating bad feed. But you gotta watch it with sheep. Normally a well-fed sheep is gonna eat around that little spot, and a cow would devour it without any ill effects at all. But it seems with sheep, even the tiniest bit of it is enough to give them listeriosis, and it's kind of like the urinary calculi. When they have it, the survival rate is very, very low. So prevention, it's all about prevention. I guess some hay got splattered on this girl's back, and Hilton's gonna eat off her back rather than going the extra few steps to find a space at the feeder. There he goes now. And that's the other reason we like the curtains too. We had them right down the other day, but the wind's blowing in, making the bedding wet. We don't want that. The sheep don't want to lay in wet bedding. So Arnie's gonna take it up just until this bad weather ends, and then we'll open it back again. And yeah, that makes 100% difference. You can really feel it. Now they've got wool, so it's better for them. They don't mind the cold temperatures at all. They do really well with cold. It's the wet that I'm talking about that's the problem. As long as they got a wool coat, they do great in cold temperatures. But if you imagine yourself wearing a wool sweater, and then I ask you to sit out in the rain for even an hour, and now the sun comes out, but I'm gonna have you still sit there. Wool is very slow to dry. So you don't want to be in that position if you don't have to be. Even the pigeons come indoors when it's bad weather. That, of course, we don't want, because rain runs off feathers. But they're a plague in the wintertime because they come in to be sheltered, and they come in for the free grain. We're happy to report that everyone looks good again today. We don't want any pregnant ewes hanging back from the feeder when they're getting close to lambing. Well, at any time, but especially when they're close to lambing. And so far, knock on wood, everyone's still in great health. Now for their favorite part. This is where we put the icing on the cake. Not a lot, just a little sprinkling. Love the view of them all lined up like this. You hungry? Hi, buddies. Oh my goodness. Hi there. Hi there. You are one of my favorites. This is kryptonite. Kryptonite at the beginning of the summer got a really heavy load of barber pole worm. We thought we were going to lose him, but he's come back really nicely. And he's in here recovering because he's a ram that I don't want to sell. I really like him. Hi, you're really nice too. And Lambert, what have you been up to? Hi, Kryptonite. Fallon. Hi, boys. Your food's coming. Hi, pussycats. Hi, pussycats. I think he looks like an Alexander. Alexander the cat. What did you think about his name? Alexander the cat.
Yeah, sure. It's a long name, isn't it?
Alexander. Sometimes long names are cute.
That's a nice one there at the back.
Hi. What about the one hiding in the hole?
No, there's actually a nicer one yet. There's a gray one, like that, but he's a little more detailed.
Hi there, you guys. Are you hungry? They're always hungry. It's not like we don't feed them all the time. And I told people that we feed them twice a day, and they said maybe kittens should get it more, but we actually have 2 bowls going and we're constantly topping them up. So it's kind of like the sheep. If they're out, we give them more. Your food is coming, boys. And what Arnie was doing when I was talking to him there was he was adding the limestone to their ration. The limestone is acidic. It's supposed to help with stones. It doesn't help once they have them, I don't think, but it helps to prevent them happening. And what are you doing, buddy? See, the greedy ones are the Suffolks. I know. He's going over to join them. I was just checking him out to make sure there's nothing going on with him. But he seems fine. Looks like the boys are gonna get some straw. It's getting a little mucky on their side of the pen, so they'll be happy about that. No, I think not. The boys. This is all boys, so it's an exciting time. So this is kind of like Casanova multiplied by 20, because these guys are probably all going to start acting silly now.
Well, we have to have the shoot for vaccines.
Yep. Just like no animal wants to lay out in the freezing rain, no animal wants to lay down in a dirty, muddy barn either. You gotta keep them clean and dry. We didn't put any at the back of the barn, but we got a whole bunch for them at the front, which is happy days. They just love this. Big babies. Who needs lambs when you have a whole bunch of rams? But they have to fight. Why would you have to fight, you guys? Don't do that. Don't be fighting. Does he look like he wants to fight? Boys, I'm telling ya. So Kryptonite here had barber pole worm, like I said earlier, and his eyes were so white, and he went to skin and bone. But as you can see now, buddy, I'm trying to show his eyes, okay? No, I'm trying to show his eyes, not yours. No, I'm trying to show Kryptonite's eyes. There, you see? See the pink in it around his eyes? Excuse me. See the pink all around his eyes? They go anemic when they get barber pole worm, and he's got all his color back. Hi, Felon. Hi. You've got your color too. Trying to show Kryptonite. He's the recovering one. My sweetheart. There. See, good color on his eyes. Good boy. You want to be able to see the pink and the veins and stuff. Yeah, that's the problem with the straw. Now they all have to be like idiots. Rams play extremely roughly. Now they can lay down in the straw and snuggle up, and it's like being in a cushy blanket. That's kind of why we don't like the slatted floors. Slatted floors use no bedding. And I guess in hot countries where you don't need to snuggle down, I can see why they use it. But in cold, damp countries like Canada, I'm thinking you need that bedding just for the extra comfort. What was left of the bale over to Cash's group, because we did this barn the other day, but it was only enough to do the Suffolk group and Casanova's group at the back. So he just took the leftover and brought it over to these girls so they have it too. And because it's actually old hay, they will nibble at it first too to find any little morsels that they may miss. But once they've peed in it and it's gotten dirty from walking in it, they won't eat it anymore. Which is another thing that's a problem with rolling your feed out in a pasture. If there's any left over, like if you feed a bale and think it's going to last them the whole day and roll it out in the field like this, in the bad conditions, generally what they'll do is they're going to seek to stay warm, so they'll eat it when you first roll it out, and what they haven't eaten in one sitting, they're now going to lay in it, walk in it, pee in it, poop in it, and the feed is now contaminated. So if you're thinking that's their feed for the day, they're probably not getting as much as they should, or they're eating contaminated feed. Let's cover all. Hi, girls. They have their spots. The sheep tend to eat in the same spot every day. I mean, they will mix up occasionally, but you can pretty well guarantee certain sheep are in a certain spot every morning when you go to feed them. In this barn, Arnie's just feeding grain because you can see they have enough hay left over, so he doesn't need to feed a bale of hay in here. Just not looking too Christmassy out here today. Although these little raindrops on the trees, they're all little icicles hanging off right now. It's freezing rain. We were going to go into Home Depot. We have some errands to run, but I'm thinking the roads are going to be a little dicey today. So we're back in the house. We've just got the tree up. So we're going to work on decorating that, I guess, today. Thanks for attending the University of Ewetopia today. And until tomorrow, take care and bye for now.